Okay, what is chambers of my heart? What is that?
Hey guys, it's your humble host, Kill if you prefer, so I'm back with another video. It's been almost a month since I've really posted anything video or art-wise. I do apologize as I switched jobs about 2 weeks ago now. It was just time for me to move on, left on mostly good terms, and have started something new that I am still blown away that I have gotten, as it's a job there is no way in hell that I would have been able to acquire a few years ago. So, personal growth. Now, with that being said, I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on what's been going on in particular, and that is the Barbie movie. When I first saw trailers for it, I thought it was going to be funny. I grew up playing Barbie and whatnot and laughed at some of the stuff that was coming out, like Ken holding up the bright yellow rollerblades with the pink wheels and all that fun stuff. However, the more that people went to go see the Barbie movie, the more reports that were coming out on it. I'm not talking about the media, I'm talking about YouTubers, I'm talking about moms, dads, families, that sort of thing. And of course, it just can't be a fun, nostalgic movie. From what I'm hearing, is that Ken is portrayed ultimately as the bad guy, and it just kind of devolves from there. Though I do hear that Ken is the best part of the film, just because of the way that he's written, and he apparently invokes a lot of laughs. But from what I am hearing, from what I'm reading, that was not the intended result for the character of Ken. Now, I just saw an article covered by a YouTuber called The Yellow Flash 2, and you now have women who are dumping their boyfriends, aka boyfriend dodges a bullet, if the boyfriend does not respond to the Barbie movie in a particular way, or doesn't understand it, or something that is just an incredibly stupid reason. So, I've been married for about 10 years. And relationships are not easy. There's sometimes a lot of toxic baggage that comes on both sides. Sometimes it's just one. It's a give and take. It is a constant learning experience. It invokes a lot of growth, personal introspection. The list goes on. There's also balancing of finances. Me and my husband have a very unique way of how our finances are combined, but they're also still separate. So, and there's still adjustments that are constantly being made because we're both growing adults that want to expand and pursue certain things, and that requires certain types of growth, certain types of changes, whether that's financial, personal, mental, physical, the list goes on. So marriage is not easy, but it's also rewarding. It's also difficult. It's also very, very, how do I want to put this? It allows you to see a side of yourself that either you would have been able to understand when you were younger, or allows you to see a part of yourself that you weren't sure was there to begin with, if that makes sense. Anyway, that being said, I have been on the internet long enough to know that there has been a bunch of dumb shit that men have to act this way in order to get a woman, or even vice versa. Women have to look this way to get a man. And not all of it's toxic, not all of it's good. But in this case, because over the past, maybe a little bit longer, 5 years, 6 years, longer than that, there has been a constant attack on male leadership, masculinity, and the overall condition of how a man is to be. There is a basic roadmap, and as I said in past videos, I am not going to sit here and try to define manhood or masculinity. The only way I can define it is what attracts me to it, specifically in regards to wife, husband, woman have an attraction to man. That's it. With that being said, though, you do see men, boys, teenage boys be constantly attacked for their behavior. Now, there has been a lot of toxic trends that have come and gone. There's been a breakdown of the family unit, the nuclear family. There's been, if you look at media, the way that men are portrayed as stupid, goofy. One of the biggest examples, because I saw quite a few dad pages talking about this, is Turning Red with the red panda, and the dad was completely portrayed as an absolute buffoon. I know that there have been shows for me to where it wasn't a mother-father role with the characters, but the men were treated absolutely stupid. They were written actually really, really dumb, and I cannot tell you how much that irritates the crap out of me. I can't stand that shit. So I really don't get involved in a lot of new media. I don't care for a lot of this new shit that's coming out. I hated the Star Wars movies, the new ones, 7 through 9. I'm not even going to sniff near the Indiana Jones stuff. There was another one I was eyeballing that I'm just like, you know what? F this crap. I'm out. I don't want to see it. What have you? Oh, what was it? It was Doctor Strange. And the multiverse of madness, from what I read, is that Doctor Strange pretty much takes a back seat in his own movie, and you have the actor, which is Benedict Cumberbatch, came out as a male feminist. I'm like, oh, this explains a lot. I don't want to see this shit. Anyway, so with what is going on is they're trying to push feminism again. It needs to die. Now, I will say as a caveat, because I've also seen this as a counterpoint, and I think this is just as freaking toxic. So I've talked about on this channel how you have the secular sphere, which wants to go patriarchy bad, women should be in charge because men fucked up too many times. And to that I say, any woman that tries to shove herself in a point of leadership is usually going to be the most destructive person in the room. Sorry, it is just what it is. Now, the counterpoint, because I've seen this bullshit too, to where there is talk in the Christian spheres how women shouldn't be in a position of leadership at all, whether or not they're called of God to do so. Allow me to explain. A lot of people like to bring up the 2 Timothy verse, which deals with Paul's letters to a particular church, telling that church that the women are to remain silent and submissive. So that's just one example. So if you actually dig into those letters, and I'm not against the mantle, like I've actually referenced it on my channel multiple times. It's actually what my white spear represents. So don't come at me with that bullshit. Anyway, that being said, you have people who misuse these letters and claim that Paul says that women shouldn't teach men at all. And a perfect example of this garbage is you have somebody called the transformative wife or the transformed wife who's pushing this nonsense. And she has a little cohort called Pearly Things. From what I understand, she herself has been through 5 different marriages, and these people are the ones giving marriage advice. Holy crap, run for it. Anyway, so you have two counterpoints that are on opposite ends, opposite extremes. There is no balance. For me, where I stand, and I believe I've said this before in my two YouTube videos, is that I want to find where I belong. And it doesn't matter if that's in a leadership role, it doesn't matter if it's in a different type of role. I personally don't have a preference. Now, for me, because this does tie back into the Barbie movie, From what I've heard, is that in the movie, the Kens are homeless, and that Barbie and there's nothing but women in the positions of power, from the court to the state to the White House. They are just, there is no Ken in a position of power at all. And it's just like, that's misandry. Like, that's not even healthy either. And growing up with Barbie, like, I don't ever remember the message of Barbie being that where Barbie can do anything. That was what I remember, and they put her all kinds of roles. But she was also accompanied with Ken, and he did various stuff too, from what I remember of the Barbie sets. I got quite a few, so did my sisters. So I'm kind of confused. Maybe I don't know the full history of Barbie. And there was actually something very disturbing because a mother talked about this, to where at the beginning of the movie you have a bunch of little girls smashing the heads of their baby dolls. That is just freaking disturbing. If I was a parent and I had my small toddler right next to me and I had that scene, I would walk out of the theater. That is dark. That is beyond messed up. It sins because of the state of our society today, and because you still have a bunch of harpies screeching and running around after Roe versus Wade got overturned. That such sends a very, very dark message, and I would leave the theater. Even if I went to go see it just out of curiosity, I'm not going to go watch the piece of shit film. But if I saw that and I was sitting, didn't matter how much I paid for my ticket, I'd walk out and demand my money back. Screw that. I'm not going to go sit through that garbage. I don't care how funny the movie is. You've already kind of set the tone for the film. The underlying message there. I'm not going to sit here and waste my money on this. No, my time. So, unfortunately, I was hoping it to be a fun film, and for me, maybe tossing a few adult jokes in there ish, very subtle how they used to. I mean, there was opportunities to use two different Barbie songs that are more adult related, just just something for the adults. You have Not Your Barbie Girl by Ava Max, or you have I'm a Barbie Girl by Aqua. So that's something I would have loved to see, just hey, kind of a nod to the adults, maybe the subtle tune, not so much the lyrics, and just have something fun with it and kind of force, hey, you can be anything you want, but kind of add the caveat, things may not work out the way that you want them, just something to that nature to where it keeps the feminine vibe, but also goes, hey, you can still pursue your dreams. I don't know. But unfortunately, you have freaking dumb broads dumping perfectly good men. And I use the term perfectly as saying they're probably whole decent men with their own struggles and stuff, but they probably take care of their women and go this is trash. This is not what my masculinity is. This isn't even a proper portrayal. This is some weird feminist taboo bullshit. And they're yeeting these men who more than likely either take care of them really well or think highly of them. And I'm not going to claim this of every relationship, but if you're a woman listening to this and you go and see the Barbie movie and you suddenly get in your head it's a good idea to dump your guy, you are fucking stupid. And I'm going to tell you 3 reasons why. Number 1, letting a movie define your relationship or the dynamics of your relationship. I cannot tell you just from the reports, just the snippets I've seen, how fucking delusional the people who made the movie are. There is no such thing at this point, at least in the US, as toxic masculinity. Now you have idiots running around MGTOW used to be a big fucking thing. And I'm not talking about the men who have just kind of sworn off relationships, but have also they're not going to trash them. They're not going to trash people who decide to pursue marriage. I'm talking about the idiots who are running under the title MGTOW, pump and dump. Yes, you still have those morons running around, and they're toxic as fuck. If anything, and I've said this before, it would be hilarious to stick feminists and MGTOW in a coliseum to where they could just let them kill each other and be fucking done with it. Just bye, goodbye. But things aren't that simple. So, Two, the reason why you're dumb is you're probably not ever going to find a man like him again. Like, obviously, I can't speak to every relationship. I can't speak to the quality of every guy, obviously. But still, if you have a good man with struggles and he looks at you and goes, what the hell is this shit? That's not a red flag. That's not an indicator of anything. That's just him going like, why are we being portrayed as subhuman? Because this is what it sounds like in the film. And they do, from what I understand, is that Barbie and Ken go to the real world, and some guy randomly comes up to Barbie and smacks her ass, and it's like, I don't know about you. I've been in public for quite a while. I have never had somebody come up and smack my ass, and I've never seen it happen to other women. Like, maybe you have once in a blue moon that creep that comes up and starts like trying to hit on every woman in the store. But like that's not a thing that's common out in public anymore because the guy is going to get jumped or PD or security's gonna go, what are you doing, dude? You need to leave before we call the cops. So having that guy just randomly come up and smack Barbie's ass, portraying every single guy as like a fucking creep. Like, no, yes, there are creeps out there. Believe me, but that's not every single guy. And if anything, because here's that scene itself is not realistic because if you had two people walking down, I think they're walking down a pier, Barbie and Ken, dressed like Barbie and Ken, you're gonna have kids. You're gonna have maybe other adults who want to take pictures with them because like, oh hey, is there an event going on? Can I get a picture with you? Because this is kind of cool. This is kind of fun. I'm not sure if this is something you're kind of doing on your own. So that would be the more natural reaction, not the freaking jeers and awkward stares and the guy coming up and randomly smacking Barbie's ass. Like, just, and three, and I cannot emphasize enough, letting feminism define your relationship with your man is just full-blown retarded. It really is. Feminism is built off of this stupid concept, and I'm not talking about the original first wave where they wanted more say in the country. They wanted to be more independent, because, for those of you who do not know this, is back then, if a woman was married, she could not work. And if she got married, she had to quit. That was an actual thing. So I'm not talking about the first wave of feminists that helped, that, actually wanted more say, actually wanted to have more of a impact on the environment around them. And I don't see anything wrong with that if it's done correctly. Now, I do know that back then the feminists were mixed in with these freaking harpies that talk like killing your kids, you need no man. That's freaking witch stuff. I don't give a fuck for it. I've seen when the anti-SJW community was around, you had feminists talking about these Wiccan goddesses. Oh, my feminists, my godhead. Weird bullshit. That's when that nasty period crap was also around. Ugh. Don't miss that, just anyway. So feminism now is freaking delusional. Is for the most part that, oh, well, women should be in charge. No, that is not even how you look at leadership. That's not how you even try to get into a leadership role. And not everybody's meant to be a leader. That is a very, very hard role. Me and my dad were talking about this literally the other night. And just to kind of be a leader, you have to be willing to teach people and still be able to learn from people underneath you. Not just go, oh, well, it's my turn to be the leader now. That's not how that fucking works. That's how stuff gets in decay and destroyed. So, but feminism likes to push that, oh, it's women's now to lead. No, go step on a rock. That's not realistic. Anyway, so do not let this bullshit define your relationship dynamics. There's always going to be issues with marriage. Some people have more, some people have less. It is two human beings, husband and wife, man and woman, that are still wanting to grow closer to each other, and there's barriers, there's walls, there's all kinds of things that get in the way of that. So, like, there's certain stuff that my husband likes that I don't want any part of. Well, that doesn't mean I'm going to go, oh, well, you're toxic, I'm going to divorce you. No, it's fucking stupid. I don't want to go see the Barbie movie. My husband sure as shit doesn't want to go see something like that. Well, that's not an indicator of anything. I know what the film's about. I usually watch a lot of reports before I go see something, especially nowadays. Um, so my gender is, and this could be, and people may think I'm going conspiracy theories here, whatever tinfoil, this could be another fucking psyop. They've been, for a while, trying to destroy relationships, woman, man, husband, wife. There's been attack on women having families. Women are being encouraged more and more days to have abortions because, oh, well, you can't have a career and children. You're fucking stupid. And then you have the counterpoint, which is just as toxic. And I bring up the transformed wife again because she put out something very particular to where it was a woman on the right in business clothes holding a cell phone and just walking down the stairs. And then you have a woman on the left holding 2 children and looking perfectly happy. Both images, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with either image. And her thing was go dream, when you're a guy, make sure you have a woman who dreams of this and not this, indicating dreams of a family and not a career. And I cannot tell you the backlash that happened in those comments where women are like, I have both. You even had a young mother go, I'm going to tell you want a career very at a young age because as you get older, and if all you did was stay at home, that's all you're going to have, and you're going to have nothing to grow upon when your kids are old enough to leave the house. And she had just started a career, so this is, you have 2 toxic extremes going on, and they're constantly colliding, so anybody caught in the middle that goes, I'm not in a place to have kids right now, so I'm going to work on this, or you have women who do have kids who take care of the household, their husband, and go, I have my own dreams too. So there's a whole freaking toxic crap, and everybody in the middle is like, you guys are both fucking stupid. Anyway, sorry for the long video. I haven't made anything in almost a month. I've been busy, and I've been seeing more and more stuff come out about the Barbie film, and I wanted to throw in my 2 cents just because I wanted to go see it, but of course, fuck me for having any hope for any of the films that come out for the most part. I want to go see the Blue Beetle movie, and wasn't fully aware of the controversy that was around that. All I knew that George Lopez, was his name, Carlos Mencia, made a joke about Batman being a fascist. And because I grew up with the George Lopez show, it fit the character. So I laughed at it because I was like, oh, hey, that's George Lopez. But apparently that wasn't all to the controversy. The producer was talking and trashing Trump supporters. It's just like, can't you people keep your fucking mouth shut for 5 minutes? Shut up. So me and some friends actually want to go see it still. I wasn't a big Blue Beetle fan when I watched the DC cartoons, but I did find Blue Beetle to be an interesting character. So I'm like, oh, this actually looks kind of good. The costume looks good. I don't particularly mind the Batman fascist joke because they actually did an alternate universe where Batman was a fascist. If you guys remember, to where normal Batman, I can't remember what the alternate version of Batman was, and there was a very particular scene to where original Batman was going around with the alternate version of Batman, and there's a guy talking about how he's not going to pay for the food because it's terrible, and instantly he was arrested, and original Batman turns to alternate Batman and goes, our parents would be so proud. So yes, they actually had an alternate Batman that was a fascist because the Justice League thought themselves, the alternate dark version of a Justice League, thought themselves to be lords over the earth. And so, it is not a foreign concept, and the joke is funny because a lot of people, even a lot of superheroes in the DC universe, do not always like the way that Batman operates. So, I'm a Batman fan. I thought the joke was funny. I got it, and it came from George Lopez. I grew up with the show, so I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty damn funny. So, because it fits. So that's just me. I wasn't aware of the other stuff. Hopefully the movie is good. Well, there's already talk of how it's gonna have a low box office yield, and go figure. Just go figure. You have, of course, the producers running their freaking mouth, and it's frustrating. And of course, you have the makers of the Barbie film going, oh, well, you guys didn't watch it right, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just another attack on men and marriage and relationships and the nuclear family. And I don't fucking care for it. It can freaking crash and burn at this point. And I'm going to end it here. If you're a woman and watch this film, and you get the stupid idea in your head to dump the man that you're with because, oh, he doesn't like the film, you deserve to be alone. Like, flat out. I'm so tired of this shit. If you have to judge the dynamic of your relationship and use a fucking Barbie movie, you deserve to be alone. Like, seriously. Just go be alone. Have multiple cats. And that's coming from a freaking cat lady. But I am married, so... Anyway, I'm going to end up here. I'm not sure when I'm going to release a video again because my new job is keeping me exceptionally busy. And it's a very much high mental fortitude job. So when I get home, my brain feels incredibly numb. Anyway, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one, hopefully soon. Soon.